Good morning, Michael Patrick. How are you?
Good. I am reading here a little note that you should make sure that your furnace vents and your intake valves and chimneys are free of snow and ice, for one, to prevent carbon monoxide poisoning, and for two, you get calls from people who say there's no heat, but it could have to do with that, with the snow on top of the intake?
That's probably the number one thing we saw yesterday, Michael Patrick. Anybody with a 90% furnace probably has an intake. Not all 90% furnaces have an intake and an exhaust to the outside, but most of the newer ones would have that. And if the intake gets blocked by snow, blowing snow, then the furnace will shut down. It's a safety mechanism, and they'll have no heat. So if someone has no heat, that's the first thing they should check if they have a newer furnace. Some of these vents also go through the roof. Most of them will go out the side of the home near the ground level. If they're going out the roof, they could also be blocked, and that becomes much more dangerous, obviously, to clear that out, because someone's going to have to get up onto the roof in order to do that.
Symptoms of carbon monoxide poisoning: headaches, nausea, dizziness, fatigue, shortness of breath, stinging, and burning eyes. And you call, I guess, the energy company as soon as that happens, and I don't know, get some fresh air. But your phone number is ringing off the hook with heat calls, I would think. How do people reach you?
Our number is 327-7777 in the Lansing area, and yes, our phone, and I'm sure everyone else is ringing off the hook. We're strictly in emergency mode at this point. The only service calls that we're running are no heat calls. I'm actually on my way to a construction site right now to see if we can get in today. We're only working our folks in areas that have heat, and nothing outdoors, new construction. It's just too brutally cold and too dangerous for our people to work. So, everybody, I think, is in, again, emergency mode and taking no heat calls and taking as many as we can do as fast as we can do them. And we've been doing this 30 years, Michael Patrick. This is one of the real peak periods, I think, that we've seen that is this brutally cold for this many days.
Wow. Thank you very much for being at it so early this morning and taking care of the people with no heat. Gary Doty, Doty Mechanical Heating and Cooling. John